Leprosy will take control and bring you to your death, because this album is a fucking classic. It came out in '88, still in the '80s, and still they're pumping out classic death metal albums. And I believe Morbid Angel released their classic Altars of Madness right after this, or right before it, the same year or something like that, which wasn't just the start of the old school original Florida style death metal scene, but just death metal as a whole. It really exploded from this point on. Everyone was dabbling with some heavier shit, but this is when it really exploded. And I attribute a lot of that explosion to producer Scott Burns, Randy's brother, who Randy lived in California, Scott in Florida, and Chuck went back to Florida. During the Scream Bloody Gore days, Chuck kept going to Florida, to California, to Florida, to California, back and fucking forth like crazy. And even recorded Scream Bloody Gore in California with Randy Burns. Now he came back to work with his brother Scott Burns at More Sound Studio, a place notorious for producing just about every big old school death metal band. Everyone heard what Leprosy and Altars of Madness and stuff like that sounded like, and everyone was rushing down there, even some thrash bands like Sepultura. Now, is he all that producer-wise? Probably not, because a lot of his albums just sound the exact same. They kind of sound dry. And Euronymous from Mayhem actually used to bash the guy all the time because he thought that he completely ruins extreme metal. Now, he's good, but he's not great, really. The artwork is absolutely classic. I've always adored it. Might be my favorite death artwork ever. It shows some guy in like white clothing trying to hold the fact that he has the leprosy disease. And you can see some like doctors in the background as if he came from like a tent where they're trying to cure him. So a good lineup is finally starting to congeal. We have Rick Ross on guitars, which I talked about before, who was a good friend of Chuck, and he got his good friend Bill Andrews from, I believe, Massacre to come on this album. They were going to get Terry Butler to come play bass, also from Massacre, but he would only join on the next album. They couldn't get him in time, so they had Chuck play bass again. The performances are amazing. The drumming is fantastic. I've always really loved Bill Andrews' style. However, I do have to say, and everyone's biggest gripe with the album is, here we go, the fucking drum tone. Especially the snare is ridiculously annoying. It's so loud, but the performances are great. The soloing from Rick and from frickin' Chuck are absolutely on point and incredible. And the riffs from both of them, because they both co-wrote like almost every song on here, are absolutely amazing. The riffs everywhere are incredible. There's not a bad moment except for maybe later in the album. And this album is considered by many to be the greatest death metal album ever and the most important death metal album ever. I don't know why it's the most important, maybe because, like I said earlier, it started the scene or something. Everyone thought this album was so awesome. But I mean, it didn't really start death metal, so I don't know what people are talking about. The album is filled with incredible songs. The title track that's just filled with incredible lyrics and has 2 choruses. And then like every song after that has kind of like the same exact approach, but executed in like slightly different ways, and all are equally good, where they all have like really catchy choruses despite how heavy the riffs and the songwriting are. And they change stuff up, like they'll have the verses be really fast and heavy, then maybe the choruses be slow, or like the intros be fast, the verse slow. It's all pretty damn good until you get to the classic song, Pull the Plug. I mean, this is kind of a plebby-ass opinion, I must admit, but Pull the Plug is the best goddamn song on the album. Right off the bat, it starts great with some fucking catchy, evil-sounding guitar riffs. But the best part of the song is the build-up to the chorus, the bridge section where it gets really fast and really melodic and catchy. And it sounds a lot like stuff that'd be on later albums, like Individual Thought Patterns shit. But that chorus with the, "Why don't you pull the plug?" is fucking awesome. And I do have to note that Chuck slowly is starting to get away from that gory type of lyrics and is getting more into other subjects of death that are a little bit more interesting, a tiny bit more philosophical, but they're still about death. We haven't gotten to like some actual real good lyric writing yet. Open Casket's another really good favorite of mine. I absolutely love the chorus of that song because it's just a blistering assault of indistinguishable noise, but the vocals are still like really catchy and fierce. However, I do have to say that I don't think it's as perfect as some people say, because there is one song that it's still good, but it just never really has done much for me. And that song is Choke on It. Now, this is going to piss off a lot of people. Everyone's going to freak out in the comments, but it just never touched my fancy, you know? There's some good riffs in it, but a lot of it's really slow and dull. But I do really love that one part when the guitars just go fucking apeshit with the bass, and it just sounds really crazy. But it just goes right back to a slow part. It just kind of sounds like a pieced together random type of song. So that is Leprosy, a fucking spanking classic. I'm going to give this bitch a 9.5 out of 10.